My dear mother-in-law, I don't really understand what has happened today. Maybe writing it down will help. We knew we'd be together here for Passover, but weren't really sure of what was going to happen. And I was getting worried about where and what we would eat. So we asked Jesus. He sent Andrew and I into the city and told us to look for a man carrying a water jar. That I thought should be easy enough to spot. After all, we know that carrying water is women's work. Jesus must have arranged it all because we met the man, followed him, and he showed us an upstairs room where we made all the preparations. The 12 of us met together with Jesus, and we were enjoying the food and relaxing together when Jesus suddenly announced that one of us was going to betray him. Talk about a conversation stopper. I looked around the table. Here we were, Jesus' closest friends, a family of disciples, and Jesus was saying that one of us was a traitor. It was unthinkable. Not me or Andrew, and surely not James or John. And I can't imagine young Thad or old Nathaniel letting us down in that way. About Simon the Zealot, James the Less, or Matthew the ex-tax collector, Philip, Thomas, even Judas. I may not like him, but betray Jesus? That couldn't happen. Maybe this is a test or the beginning of one of Jesus' stories, but it felt too real, and as I looked round the table, I wondered who, and I could see each person looking back and wondering the same. The meal carried on, but in an uneasy way. I was still dwelling on what Jesus had said when he picked up a small loaf of bread, gave thanks and broke it. As he did so, he said, "This is my body broken for you." And he passed it around. Then he picked up a cup of wine, offered thanks, and passed it around, saying that this was his blood. The bread his body, wine his blood. I don't understand. How can bread and wine be his body and blood? It makes no sense and feels rather macabre as well. And yet, when Jesus said those words, there was something special, powerful, as though through this he was giving us something new, giving a new meaning to the Passover, a new ritual. But again, it was about death, and my whole nature rebelled against it. Jesus is the Messiah. I believe that, and if so, he cannot die. We finished the meal by singing the usual psalms, and despite our qualms, by the time we got to the words, "His love endures forever," in Psalm 118, we were belting it out as usual. After this, Jesus led us out to the Mount of Olives. Just as we were feeling more at ease, he spoke to us again, this time saying that we'd all run away. He quoted words from the prophet Zechariah, "I will strike the shepherd and the sheep will be scattered," claiming that we'd all desert him. For me, that was enough. I declared that even if everyone else were to run away, I would stay by Jesus' side. And if that meant I would die with Jesus, then let it be so. For I will never desert, deny, or betray him. But instead of congratulating me on my steadfastness, Jesus turned and declared that before the cock crowed twice, I would have denied him. Me, Peter, his first disciple, one of his 3 closest friends, the one he says he will build his church on. How can he think that of me? I don't understand. Here we are in the Garden of Gethsemane. Jesus has asked James, John, and I to sit and keep awake while he prays. I'm not sure why. After all, nothing is going to happen. Yet, with all that Jesus has said this evening, I feel uneasy. It looks as though James and John have already fallen asleep. I know I won't. I'll do some more thinking instead and then write home tomorrow. I will let you know how I was still Jesus' faithful follower when the cock crowed in the morning. Love, Peter.